Hello again. Thanks for choosing us. To the details, the World Bank wants the country to take the bull by the horn and lead the course to address challenges facing the economy. The country has been hit by high fiscal deficit, elevated debt and increased cost of financing. But country director Pierre Laporte says though the World Bank will assist Ghana to address these challenges, the country and its citizens must solve the problem. He was speaking at the relaunch of World Bank IMF Parliamentary Network.
The COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war has further interrupted Ghana's growth and exacerbated macroeconomic and structural challenges, including debt vulnerabilities and energy sector fiscal risks, which I'm sure many of you have heard me talk about a few times. High fiscal deficits and increasing public debt have now elevated Ghana's country risks, limited foreign direct investment in non-commodity sectors, and increased the cost of finance for many private businesses. But despite these challenges, Honorables, I'm convinced that Ghana can and will sustain its lower middle income country status to become a fully fledged middle income country. The World Bank Group reiterates its continuous support to help in that process. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the World Bank Group has played a significant and positive role in Ghana. Today we bring approximately $500 million annually in support for various sectors, including roads, energy, water, health, education, skills, governance, name it, to assist to improve the business environment. But in the end, we are only part of the solution. The solution really lies with Ghana and Ghana and its people. We will be there with whatever we can do to support the new thinking, to contribute industrial experience, knowledge and data, and to provide financing.
Chairman of the Finance Committee, Kweku Kwarteng, said the World Bank IMF Parliamentary Network has been structured in such a way that issues that have not been dealt with by both the NPP and the NDC can be addressed by the network.
That as the objective of the global network is advocate for improved transparency and accountability in development partnership. So in Ghana, we have members from both sides. A good number of us are from the Finance Committee, but there are others who are outside the Finance Committee. So we identify ourselves distinctly as members of the Parliamentary Network Ghana chapter. In the case of Ghana, we're looking to make this a very influential group. We intend to have our numbers grow, but we want to grow cautiously. We want to have in our fold members who are committed to the objectives of this global initiative and would help the Ghana chapter achieve clear impact in the way development partnership happens in Ghana, but also to help the global initiative achieve the global objectives for which this network has been put together.
Meanwhile, the country's debt issues are expected to dominate the second round of International Monetary Fund program negotiations in Washington, D.C., USA from today. These discussions are coinciding with the annual IMF World Bank meeting. George Riafe has more.
The issue about the country's debt stock has become very important because of the current levels and its impact on the larger economy. Therefore, while the IMF and the World Bank continue to work on finalizing Ghana's debt sustainability analysis and how that will shape Ghana's program, discussions in Washington, D.C. will try and deal with the issue about how it should also be constituted and whether those on the books of state-owned institutions should be added to the government of Ghana debt. The engagement in Washington, D.C. would also try to look at government proposal on how it plans to turn around the economy. There will also be discussions about government 2023 budget, which will be presented to Parliament in November this year. Meanwhile, the annual IMF World Bank meetings opens in Washington, D.C. today, bringing together finance ministers of more than 100 countries that are members of the IMF, as well as central bank governors. These delegates will be seeking to take measures to deal with threats of global recession and how that would impact on countries like Ghana. And what are the necessary measures that could be put in place to help absorb these shocks that could hit countries like Ghana?
Well, away from that, Ghana is ranked first by the World Bank with the highest food prices in sub-Saharan Africa in 2022. According to the Bretton Woods institution, food prices have since January 1 gone up by more than 120%. Charles Nixon Yeboah takes a look at the World Bank's latest Africa Pulse report.
Since the start of 2022, food prices have increased sharply in many countries. According to the Food Price Index in countries in sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana recorded the highest increase in food prices of 122% since the beginning of the year. Food inflation in Ghana has been high, recording a year-on-year inflation of 34.4% in August. On month-on-month basis, inflation was even higher. The drivers of food inflation in Ghana are oils and fats, fish and other seafood, water, cereals, milk and eggs, fruits and vegetables, as well as live animals and meat. Overall, the World Bank said inflation breached the ceiling of the central bank targets for all countries with an explicit nominal anchor. Meanwhile, Senegal followed Ghana closely with food price increases of 110%. Uganda is second with 107% increase in food prices.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana is calling on government to institute pragmatic steps to avert the situation. Chief Executive of the Chamber, Anthony Morrison, spoke on the marketplace.
We've been singing this very unfortunate song for the past years. We have highlighted the issues several times as to the trajectory of our agriculture and food systems. And even though I'm not happy this is coming at this time, because we wish it had come much earlier for government to take some mitigating measures. As we speak now, we do not expect prices of food to come down any soon because the situation is so government's continuous budget allocation for the agriculture sector still continues to be very low with comparison to the rest of the sub-region. And if you take the CADEP, the African Union Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, and the credit, the scoring, the scorecard, Ghana was adjudged to be not on track with its food system, but progressively well. That tells us that the Chamber has been doing a very great job in trying to alert the government and the other sectors, major sector players about the happenings in the industry. We have earlier this year called on government to set up the National Food Security Bureau, and which we thought that it would have mitigated some of the challenges we face, most especially on the financial sector and also project implementation. These two areas have woefully failed this government, and I think that this is a noble call on the minister to begin to look at the scorecard and say a very goodbye to the sector and make sure that we are able to get somebody in who is much committed to the job, who is focused, and who can deliver to the Ghanaian people.
Well, away from that, some banks in the country have begun suspending loans to new and some existing customers. That's the information gathered by Joy Business. This follows the increase in the policy rate, that is the rate at which commercial banks borrow from the Bank of Ghana, to 24.5%. Charles Nixon Yeboah has more.
Joy Business understands that some of the foreign banks operating in the country have sent emails to their relationship managers and officers to put on hold lending to new customers. This is to help reduce their risk exposure in advancing loans to the new customers. Usually in times of rising interest rates, the bank's non-performing loans also shoot up, a reason why some financial intermediaries suspend or slow down lending, particularly to fresh customers. This is to help keep the non-performing loans in check. Therefore, despite the demand for loanable funds going up during times of economic challenges, supply remains low. However, existing and credit-worthy customers will continue to receive loans but at a higher rate. According to the latest banking sector report by the Bank of Ghana, the credit conditions survey conducted in August this year indicated an overall net tightening of credit stance to corporate and households by the commercial banks. This was reflected in the steady increase in average lending rates.
You're still watching Business Live here on the Joy News channel with me, Beverly Broohm. Now, still to come, 4 branches of a popular retail center, China Mall, locked up. Other branches across the country to be affected over failure to comply with GRA's electronic VAT collection system.
Exposes all of them, because what you sell will definitely hit our system.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, the enforcement team of the Ghana Revenue Authority has locked up 4 branches of a popular retail center, China Mall, and its warehouses here in Accra. The action, which will affect other branches of the mall across the country, follows the inability of the company to fix its electronic collection system to enable GRA access tax collections. According to the Accra Area Enforcement Manager, Joseph Annan, the action has become necessary after many attempts to get the company comply with the law failed.
The exercise by the enforcement team at the 4 branches of China Mall is part of moves targeted at supermarkets and retail centers that have been engaged to begin the pilot phase of the electronic VAT system. According to the Ghana Revenue Authority, most of the centers, numbering about 50 of them, are failing to use the new system due to fears of being exposed. Accra Area Enforcement Manager Joseph Annan explains.
See, this exposes all of them, because what you sell will definitely hit our system, so that you will be doing your business out there, but we monitor everything you do in our office electronically. And as you and I know, many of them don't declare all their sales. So obviously, once they get hooked onto this new system, then it's like their profits or whatever there is that they benefit from will surely reduce. So it's a kind of trying to see what will happen if they fail to comply. And I believe that this is a strong signal to every one of them who is on the selected list.
He further cautioned that the authority will go after all defaulting firms until the new system is fixed to enable the GRA monitor all transactions and assess tax payments.
There's another branch somewhere around Weja, and the branch at Kumasi will also be sealed off. And this will continue and extend to those who are part of the selected few. We are not comfortable with what I always say, that we are not comfortable with what we are doing now. But of course, you pay us to work. We are paid by the taxpayers. Taxes that they pay. I mean, the public. And you pay us to work. So we will surely work for you. But the issue is that after engaging them for months, and they have decided not to comply, we don't have any other choice than to enforce the law. And that we shall do with all honesty and commitment and sincerity.
The move is expected to boost domestic revenue for the country.
You see, concerns will always be raised, but just be level-headed and know that you are doing the right thing. You must definitely start from somewhere. And like I said, we are going to pursue all those who are not complying. So it's not only China Mall alone. We have started with China Mall. We don't have much time. It's past 2, and it's even past 3. So obviously we'll continue tomorrow. Then you and I will know whether we have targeted China Mall. And at times, one may ask, we need money, and why are we locking up shops? But you see, at times you need to take a bitter pill to get healed once you are not well.
So what next after the lockup?
Well, this place and other places that will remain locked until they comply.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Namisha Daoswamwa, has hinted that there is an ongoing review analysis on implementation of the Electronic Transactions Levy to figure out how to improve revenue generated and also deal with complaints concerning overcharging being reported by some phone users. Speaking at a media engagement, the Commissioner General expressed confidence that findings from the survey will help deal with the challenge for all stakeholders.
And just today, I received a request for them to go into, because we wanted to work on it quickly, they wanted to actually go into residence and spend 2 days to finish all the analysis and come out with a report as quickly as they can. And so we expect that from Monday and Tuesday, they should be able to finish the analysis and then come out with a report. And all issues, in fact, because it's a survey, like I said, it's a post-implementation. And so every issue, including if there are any, because there have been some issues about these errors and where GRA says that it is the charging entities. The charging entities is saying that GRA, we want to capture everything. And for any system when you implement, if you don't do a quick policy implementation review and allow these complaints to persist, then you create problem and create lack of confidence. And that's one of the reasons. So in addition to the fact that we want to look at the revenue, and to increase the revenues, we are also looking at any service issues that we have. And then if there are any problems, we also want to fix it as soon as possible. And so please, just to confirm, yes, any problems that people have were part of the survey, and we will be able to analyze it quickly and come out with the results. And then if there are any issues that needs to be addressed, we will also address them.
Now to some other stories. Honda Motor Company Limited, a multinational automobiles dealer, has introduced its all-new and supports world's best-selling Honda HR-V onto the Ghanaian market. According to the country manager for the company, Mahesh Matani, this is to continue to stay in competition with other brands within their Ghanaian economy and beyond. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the car.
The Honda HR-V introduces multiple new active and passive safety systems. The spacious interior of Honda HR-V has a solid premium SUV feel, which puts visibility easy and sense of space. Mahesh Matani, country manager for Honda Ghana, said the company is poised to supply the best of products to support the Ghanaian economy.
The all-new HR-V is a very advanced vehicle. It has some technologies, new technologies, which some of the vehicles don't have. That is why we're introducing it to Ghana. Size-wise, it's a little smaller than our CR-V, which is one of our best sellers in Ghana. So we anticipate that the HR-V will be a very successful car in Ghana.
Japan ambassador to Ghana, Mochizuki Isanubu, said more investment will be needed to expand the automobile industry in Ghana.
So as the ambassador, so I have spent about a year now, and I'm very proud of the presence of Japanese vehicles, and I really appreciate Honda's role in Ghana. But maybe there are a lot of Japanese brands, and it's highly appreciated by the Ghanaian people. And this launch event of Honda HR-V is really a milestone to further promote of automotive industry, introducing Japanese brands in Ghana. And in this very difficult economic circumstances, but nevertheless, we believe Japanese vehicle can contribute to human resource development and economic recovery in Ghana.
Head of Business, Sales and Marketing at the company, an expert, explained the functions of the new Honda HR-V.
HR-V has a hill distance control, wherein if the car of the speed is between 0 to 20, the car will automatically drive and assist the passengers while downhill. It also has an auto parking brake, so the moment you press the brake, it is engaged, handbrake, and then you have the brake hold function. Along with it, you have the econ function for giving you better fuel efficiency. The CR-V also has the all-new air diffusion system. So this has the L-shaped vents wherein the air forms a curtain around the passengers and it does not beat him directly. This creates a very fresh air inside the cabin and making the cabin very comfortable, and it beats the sunlight coming from inside.
Honda Motors is a Japanese public multinational conglomerate corporation primarily known as a manufacturer of automobiles, aircraft, motorcycles, and power equipment.
And that's how we end the show for tonight. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Beverly Broohm. I leave you with your money tip on Money Lab. Stay.
Hi everyone, welcome to Money Lab. My name is Yvonne Seshi. Last week, we looked at term loans and how businesses can use this facility to fund their activities. Today, we'll look at loan syndication and how it can be used by businesses to raise funding for capital projects. The term loan syndication typically involves a group of lenders coming together to fund various portions of a loan for a single borrower. Loan syndication most often occurs when a borrower requires an amount that is too large for a single lender, or when the loan is outside the scope of a single lender's risk exposure levels or appetite. Under a syndication, multiple lenders pool together to provide the borrower with the requested funding. loan syndications provide an avenue for businesses to raise funding for large capital projects that otherwise cannot be provided by a single bank. Thank you for watching.